Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Anissa and today I'm making a leek and potato soup. I had leek in my fridge for quite some time and I wanted to use it up, and with it being autumn it's a perfect season for soups. So let's get started. I am making quite a small batch. This recipe doubles very well. I like to halve my leek and then give it a good wash under running water to remove any dirt that may be trapped inside. I'm just going to chop this quite roughly because this soup will eventually be blended. So I'm chopping mine into rough, about centimetre large slices. Doesn't have to be too exact. I've melted around 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter in a pan and we're going to add our leek. I am cooking the leek on quite a low heat. I don't want any colour on this, I just want to soften the leeks. Along with the leek, I'm adding 2 large cloves of garlic sliced and 1 large bay leaf, and that's going to fry together. Additionally, half a teaspoon of dried thyme and dried marjoram. Just give that the occasional stir to coat those leeks in that butter and help it fry. And in the meantime, we'll prepare our potato. So I've washed and peeled around 250 grams of potatoes and I'm just roughly chopping them into centimetre diced cubes. My leeks have just softened, so it's time for me to add my potato. And 750 millilitres of vegetable stock. You can use chicken stock if you prefer. And now we're going to bring our soup up to a boil. Once your soup is at a boil, reduce to a simmer and let it cook until those potatoes are really soft and tender. Whilst my soup simmers, I'm going to prepare some croutons. So I like to roughly tear up some bread, if it's stale, even better. Give it a little sprinkle of dried parsley, and I also like to throw in around half a small clove of freshly chopped or just roughly chopped garlic. A little shake of salt and a good drizzle of olive oil. I'm using something quite nice quality. And just roughly mix that together using your hands and make sure you coat that bread as well as possible. And then this is going to go into a 180 degree oven for around 8 to 10 minutes or until they're nice and golden. The potatoes in my soup are tender and now we're ready for the next step. So I'm very carefully going to pour my soup into a blender. I will be blending my soup. Now, a word of caution, if you're using a blender like I am, don't fill it right to the brim, leave a good bit of space and leave that hole here uncovered. This will stop your soup exploding out and splashing you with very hot soup whilst you blend it. If you have a hand blender, you can use that as well. My soup is nice and blended. You've got a nice soup here that's really smooth. I just wanted to mention that I did cover the top of the blender before I started blending lightly with a dishcloth just to prevent that soup jumping out and splashing me. Again, you don't want to cover it too tightly to avoid burning yourself. If you're unsure, you can let your soup cool completely before you blend it. I feel like my soup is already looking quite nice and creamy. I'm going to finish it with a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and some salt to taste. If you prefer your soup on the creamier side or you find that it's still a little too thick for your liking, you can add a little splash of milk or cream to even it out. I'm just going to add a tiny splash of milk just for that extra bit of creaminess in this soup, and then you can let it heat back through. But this is ready to serve. And voila, your leek soup is ready. I like to serve mine with a little garnish of fresh chives, fresh parsley, and maybe just a few of our delicious croutons. thrown on top. And that's all there is to it. A really simple, really delicious, fresh leek soup, using up the ingredients you have in your fridge. If you enjoyed the recipe, please do leave a like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Thank you for watching.